our painting contest number 2, the voting. So this is our Sangiunala painting contest, which was the contest that wrapped up on the 7th of January. Next year, we're going to be a little bit harder on that deadline, and we're going to require December 31st. But as we were trying to figure all this stuff out, we were being a little bit more loosey-goosey with it. By the time this episode drops, you may have just a couple of hours or just a couple of days to get submissions in for our first painting contest, our first quarter painting contest of 2022. If you aren't already involved in that, now is the time. We will be competing in that, so you'll be able to see a lot of the stuff that we call out and point out and all of that. You'll be able to do it back to us.
What's that game that has all the waifus?
Kingdom Death. Are you gonna paint shit from
I'm
Kingdom
gonna paint
Death now?
Kill Team of waifus.
You have to post that up in like 2 days.
Well, what was that?
Mr. Leaving for LVO.
Tekken volleyball, wasn't that a thing?
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah. Don't pretend like you guys never played that shit.
I played the shit out of it. That's why I know.
No. But I did have that Game Informer magazine, and it did live under my mattress.
Well, let's just say I watched.
Dude, you had that too? You had that too? Dude,
I watched playthroughs.
So in 5th grade, my buddy sold me a Game Informer magazine that had a Playboy inside of it. This was before the internet. No, 5th, this was 3rd grade.
Back when you had to read your porn.
Yeah, exactly. This is 3rd grade. I was like, man, they got hair on them?
You guys remember the Maxim where they released I was in college when this happened. It was Maxim, and they put the Final Fantasy Spirits Within actress in it, and they were like, this is going to revolutionize everything. The first all-digital actress. Real actresses are no longer going to happen. They've perfected the female body. And then the Final Fantasy Spirits Within came out, and everybody was like, what is this horse shit?
Dude,
what is this garbage?
I really like
that
one, dude. I really liked.
I like that movie.
You hate it?
It was cool. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I still liked it.
That one.
Whatever. Steve Buscemi was in it. That's all I.
Was he
about.
Really? Well, we're gonna talk about this later. We're gonna put this on the pod. I need to talk about this later.
There you go.
Steve Buscemi played the young funny guy.
Oh hell yeah!
All right, guys. So without further interruption or segues. Tangents. We're going to jump right into looking at the models. So as we're talking about it, guys, you're going to see the model up on the other side of the screen. We're all looking on them on our independent screens. So first up is Chalk. Chalk painted a Chaos Spawn.
He's the reigning champion.
Yep, defending
champion.
Defending trophy holder.
Yeah, if you lose Chalk, you got to send your trophy to the next.
So yeah, this is a pretty cool model. I like what he did here.
Hell yeah, I love the model. Is it a 40k model? I don't think it is, right?
No, it's a 3D print.
Oh, dude, it's such a good print.
That's a badass print. Yeah,
and that is definitely a hard print too. Just looking at all the dangly bits.
It's a print.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a print.
Yeah, that's a resin. That's a resin 3D print.
I even see he has. Are we gonna do our commenting now on everything, or are we gonna read his stuff first?
Yeah. Or? So he's got some lore. Everybody did lore this time, so everybody was awarded the lore.
Awarded the Lord.
Awarded. But yeah, so the model looks dope. I really like the washes and the detail. I love the purple on the base. It just overall a very cool model. That would be my input on everything. I think it's very well painted.
Tom.
Marky?
Oh, me?
Yeah, or somebody.
Well, I don't want to take Tom's. I was gonna say I like the butt.
That was the whole reason I liked that. I know.
It's
got a butt.
I was like,
booty
Tom mentioned, and I was like, dang, he's got up a donk. You're right. You got that booty. No, the detail.
Man, that model is thick.
Got an ass you could slap down.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I love the detail. I love the shading that he did on it. I think he said this was his first one that he did airbrush work on.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so new
I like the water effect on the base. I also like the purple.
Yeah,
purple is one of my favorite colors. And I dig the skin tone. He was playing around with the skin tone. He had one before that was red. I believe he repainted it. I don't know if it was this model, but it looked like a liquor from Resident Evil. I actually really dug it, but he didn't want to go with it, which is fine. It's his model.
Yeah.
But I like the red one.
I kind of think this fits, since I've read the lore. All of our viewer listeners haven't quite necessarily heard us say it yet, but I think this skin tone almost fits that lore better.
Well,
Yeah, it's cool. It's
what's the
very
lore
cool.
on the skin tone? 2-second version.
Oh,
person?
we'll read the
I don't
whole
wanna
thing here in
ruin
a
it.
second. Yeah, we'll read the whole thing here in a second. What else you got for us, guys?
I didn't know it was a 3D print. I actually thought he like green stuffed this and made it, so I was gonna be like, oh my god.
Yeah, amazing sculpt.
Yeah, it's a great sculpt. Definitely. I mean, of course, like it's sick. The reason I liked it is because of the lore behind it, and I thought he made it like from scratch. But I mean, honestly, like the base, he got the skin tone right. I mean, that's if nothing else, you know what I mean? Like the skin tone, done.
The skin tone, the cybernetics,
Yeah.
the little gooey bits around the edges of the cybernetics where they go.
And I mean, excellent choice of using the story to describe kind of what it is. I mean, it's definitely, you can tell it's definitely like mutating, and that's like its whole thing it's like
It used to be something
It
else.
reminds me a lot of like
rage.
Resident Evil, something that's been like infected by the T virus or a virus. One of them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also there's more to it than that. You can tell it's not just like a one stage. Like,
I
there's
have
a
not
whole lot of
read
things going on.
I listened to it, but I haven't read any of the lore because I wanted this to be my first impression.
Oh, are we?
That's right. We got a sound clip. It'll be in the video. I don't think we'll listen to it when you guys have a second, like when we're talking about other stuff. But I'll definitely toss it into the video so those viewers can hear it.
Yes.
I think if I have any criticism or comments and criticism feedback on this one, I like a lot of the detail and the grit as far as the wash goes, as far as pulling out some of those small details. And I like that there's definitely transitions between the cybernetics and the skin, but being a horror movie and a gore guy, I really want to see that pushed further. I want to see that, like, there's an area where it looks like there's a hand growing out of the forearm, grabbing the back of the hand, and just seeing blood or viscera or slime or something leaking out of would be super cool. Seeing some gore leaking out of the mouth would be cool too.
I was about to say you're probably looking for some spittle.
Yeah, but again, is that's my opinion coming to it. That would be my feedback on it. I definitely like that there's a very subdued contrast to it, which I think is really important and really difficult to pull off.
Didn't overdo it, didn't underdo it. You can definitely tell the differences between like the skin and the cybernetics, and it looks good.
Well, even different areas of the skin are slightly different, in the shaded areas and things like that. But it's not too different.
And he painted the fingernails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have any?
My only, and this is not critique, this is just a pet peeve of mine, is I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, Chuck, but I like rimming my bases. If you wanted to do it that way just to keep it consistent, that's perfectly fine. It's more of like a personal thing for me, but I like rimming my bases like black, re-rimming them black, or maybe even purple, or whatever, what have you.
Like them rim jobs.
Yeah, I
Marky?
do.
Yeah, he's a rim job
I am.
guy. I think my real criticism of it is the bladed tentacle things need a little more like darkening, maybe some shading, little more gore, maybe like how Ryan was saying for the rest of the cybernetics. I think the rest of them actually look great in my opinion. I don't necessarily need to go as far as Ryan's extreme horror version of it all. I like the little bit details there because I feel like that's a more
such a good
honest
paint job
approach to it. It's amazing, but I would have liked to see that continued onto the little like bladed tentacles as well.
Cool. Tom, you got any feedback? Any?
Oh, like negative?
Make the ass not big enough.
That booty ain't badonk enough.
Can we repeat we'll just preemptively repeat that for all the rest of the models as well. None of their booties is big enough.
My only right,
And this one had the biggest one.
I guess my only like thing that I would say is like the story, like going with the lore and then what it is. There isn't enough red. Like I feel like it just needs like a highlight of red somewhere or something.
Like a touch of red.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fairly muted. Like the model itself is, I mean, it's impeccably done for skin tones, and I feel like it's kind of dusty, but it matches the base because the base has that like muted purple with the grayish brown.
Yeah.
My only thing is I would have done some type of, or I wouldn't have done it because I'm terrible at it, but I would have like wanted to see some type of red accent or highlight, just or something.
You wanted more contrast.
Yeah, something to emphasize the like anger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
I like the muted tone.
That would a gloss maybe somewhere. Like I don't know, just some. It to me it just seems a little muted. That's all.
That's what he was going for.
Gotcha.
No.
Right.
Cool. So for his lore, I'll go ahead and read that. I'll take this one if one of you guys wants to get Ickbard's next. So for Chalk's lore, Logar brooded on his flagship. It had been years since the humiliation of Monarchia, but the question went ever unanswered in his mind. Why had the Emperor chided him so? Was he not both father and god? Had he not created the great Primarchs and their children, the valiant Astartes? Is this not proof of divinity? The entire Imperium should sing hymns to the divine Father. Temples should be built in his name. Nay, whole planets should be turned to his glory. Why then does Father deny this glory? Mayhaps he was not a god. Carphoron and Erebus whispered to other gods, true gods, beings that not only welcomed worship but demanded it. Why had Father not told us of these beings? Was he frightened? Did he fear the true masters of the Materium? Logar made a decision on that day. He would seek out those beings. He would know if they were true gods. He would know if there were true gods out there and not just stories and ravings of madmen. Logar nodded and lifted his immense bulk from the command throne. Erebus, he called. Choose you 100 men from the Legion, men of strong will and stronger devotion. Send them questing. I would know these beings you call gods. I would know if they are worthy. If they are, we will carry their standard. Sorry. If they are, we will carry their standard. We will carry their word. And so Erebus chose the 100, valiant and devoted all. He sent them into the void. His instructions were simple. Seek, you all, for being shrouded in chaos. Seek the great ones wherever they may hide. Find the gods who are worthy of our worship and bring their word back to us. The 100 departed, questing into chaos, seeking those great and terrible beings. Never once did they stop to consider what would happen if those gods were real. He has no name, and he has carried on for 10,000 years. No name, no creed, no thought, just rage. Once a member of the Word-Bearers Legion, he is now just a twisted abomination, bits and pieces of ceramite armor fused with mutated yet powerful limbs. There is nothing left but rage and overwhelming hunger. This is what happens when you journey too far into chaos. This is what happens when you find your gods.
God damn, man. Chuck.
Pretty good.
Chuck,
pretty good.
I don't know how much you've written, but damn.
Yeah, see what I mean? See
Pretty
what
good.
I mean? When I said that, I was like, the story.
All I gotta say, Chalk, is we have a segment called Tales from the Hive, and we generally have something on it that's a little horror bent. Give us some horror bent, brother.
That's sweet. I enjoyed that.
Cool. Are you guys ready to look at
we can move
Ickbard's? All right, so our next submission is from Ickbard. This is a Swarm Lord.
Yes.
And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to just jump right into this.
Yeah.
So I really like this Swarm Lord. Some of the stuff that I had mentioned, or that I've mentioned in the past, really liking to see the contrast pushed with detail down in the grooves and all of that are really well done here. You get that kind of like meaty, like exposed crab flesh in the parts of the Hive Tyrant's arms where there's folds and there's little cracks. I really like the transition up the sword a lot. I like the purple transition on the bone. I really like the model. I know that he's going for like a Halloween theme with orange and purple, which is really cool, but it's not slapping you in the face. It very much looks like an organic orange and purple. And I also like that it stands out very well from the base. The base is green and swampy, and the model is definitely a very different color.
Right. But there's elements of those colors splattered onto it to suggest that it is, it's not like
fits in the environment.
And here's a model and they're stuck together. Yeah.
It fits in the environment of the story, but yeah, it's different. It's different enough color palette that it complements the model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my positives.
I agree with Ryan. The transitions are really damn good. I really love the way the bone swords came out. I love the way the horn came out, all the carapace. I love the swampy base. It looks sick.
Yeah, that swampy base.
Got that swamp ass base.
Swampy ass base.
I dig all the small details, like all the little toxin sacs things on its arms, and the little ridges like between the actual skin, like where kind of like it looks like the muscle comes out on all the Tyranid models. All that's been touched up.
Yeah, I love all that stuff.
I dig it all. It's just some good stuff.
So believe it or not, science-wise, what all those little things are, that's how insects breathe.
Those little sacs?
They need to. Yeah, that's how they breathe, but also it's how they cool their metabolism off. That's how they. Because they don't have lungs.
So if I rip ass next to it, can he smell it?
If you ripped ass in that hole, it would probably die.
You rip ass in the hole.
Oh, in the hole. I thought you were talking about the little sacks. You're talking about the little stacks on
Dutch
its back.
ovening.
No. That's where it spews Tyranid nonsense gas. But the little on his biceps and stuff, like where it looks like the muscle, like you said, the muscle is tearing out. I forgot the technical name for that, but that is how insects.
Things.
Yeah, Gene Stealer's got them.
Yeah, but that is how insects can actually open and close those on their body, and that's how they regulate their internal temperature and hydration and stuff like that.
We should have podcast science corner with Kevin.
I follow a lot of really weird science stuff.
What you got, Kevin?
So what's your
that tidbit?
What's your criticism, or not your criticism? What are your positives?
I back up everything you guys have already stated. Like I kind of got attached on at the end of Ryan's, all of the gross on the tail looking like it's been dragged through that swamp is awesome. Everything about that base I like all the detail, the algae growing all over it. Looks really good.
And you played with resin for the first time too, so there's a resin.
Oh, is that what that little pool is?
Yeah, both he and Chalk played with resin on their bases actually.
Yeah, I saw Chalk's purple goo. I didn't quite see it here on Ix, but I see it now. That little kind of puddle there. It looks like, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, everything on this model is actually really well done. Even going some of these crevices and nooks and crannies have even a good coat of paint in there as well. And I know that's really hard to get in sometimes. But the Swarmwood, the 3 little holes on the side of the back of his head, those have color in them. All that is well done and filled in there.
Tommy boy.
Have at it, Tom.
Yeah. So I've been staring at it into the minute details. I thought the tail was actually a mistake. I thought he used a wash and it peeled off, but I was or is that dirt?
It tells a story.
Was he actually doing that?
Yeah.
I was so it took me a minute because if I had done it, looking at it, I'm oh yeah, I would have. That would have been my fibble. But looking at it, I was did he actually do that on purpose? And he did. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
As far as paint goes, on the model, the way that the model's are organically shaded, it's great. The carapace on the back,
awesome.
It's got all the right shading where it needs to be. My only complaint is I hate the color scheme.
I think
everything else is great. I hate the color
it
scheme.
reminds me of Tremors for some reason. It reminds me of a graboid. I think it's like the inside, like you know how the inside of the graboid is like orange. That's the orange it reminds me.
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
That's graboid orange.
No, that's yellow. It's like more yellow than orange.
You need to turn up your contrast.
That goes. Yeah.
So is that your are you leading us off with criticism then?
No. I mean, I lead it off very well. I said that the fact that he actually made the tail dirty is impressive. Like at first, I thought it was like a happy accident, and then I was like, oh no, he did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, it's great.
You can see it also on the feet.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was looking at the wrong picture.
That was kind of what I wanted.
That is orange.
That's kind of what I wanted to bring up too. Is like they have a style called Blanchitsu, which is like more of a grim dark paint job where. When you play tabletop standard or like you paint your models in a tabletop manner, you want it to be very vibrant. You want it to pop. You want it to look good from 5 feet away. Blanchitsu is like almost it's more like a Necromunda style where you want things to be like grimy and dirty and like small minute details like dragging your tail through the mud and having that all like dirtied up. It's almost like he has a little bit of both styles in there, so I kind of dig it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
appreciate that because that's kind of how I try to paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
more that way.
I think that aspect, like literally from the tail all the way up to the back, is like my favorite part. I think it's amazing. The back carapace is my favorite part on it, 100%. I just like the color scheme to me. Still, I'm just like that's the only thing I would change. Everything else is great.
And that's not the Swarm Lord's horn. What are you doing, Ick? I see you. Using the regular Hive Tyrant head. Yeah, use a Swarm Lord head.
I like that blade head.
I know,
I did the same thing. I think that blade head looks way better for the Swarm Lord than the actual.
Well, it looks bigger and cooler, and it looks like a bone sword.
It looks more intimidating.
Exactly.
It looks like he's got a bone sword on his head.
He gonna stab you with his face.
Swarm Lord,
dude,
if he go ahead, Tom.
If he turned it around and like pinned it forward.
That would be cool.
Normal.
Yeah. I like that hammerhead look though.
So, my big criticism, Ick, and we've talked about this a little bit, and I know that you have a very kind of laissez-faire answer when I bring it up. Your mold lines, man.
Oh, I saw that on the back of the arm.
Yeah, and that's just me. I am the type of guy who spends a lot of time cleaning up mold lines. I know a lot of people don't care about it. And sometimes I just get to a point where I'm like, I'm not green stuffing for another hour. So I definitely get it. But there's a couple of heavy mold lines where the carapace meets, and just the way this model is, the way that the carapace is 3 different pieces. And I know I've built a couple of them. So I get it. But that's just a me thing. I clean up those mold lines as much as I can.
Get the cowbell. Shame.
I also drill out my barrels like an
idiot.
I was
gonna say this is a drill.
I don't have a cowbell, but
shame. Bring out the primer.
Right.
I mean, Ryan, if you really want to drill barrels, I've got 150 guardsmen.
Now, you see, if you do them one at a time as you're building them, it's not that hard.
Well, yeah, but I was never going to do that. But, if you want to.
That's your army,
by all
though.
means.
That's your army, though. That's fine.
You just said you like to drill barrels.
Right. But when I judge your army, I'll be like, Kevin doesn't drill out his barrels.
Yeah, but the Lehman Russ barrel is hollow, so I don't need to.
That's true. The important barrels, right?
That you can really tell.
Right. I will,
on a lot of the
mold lines.
Yeah.
I will read the lore on this one if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
No one else has any criticism?
No.
Before we jump into it? Cool.
It's tyranny.
All right, Mark, blow us away. This is also there's an audio clip for those of you guys listening, so we'll play that right around here as well.
There once was a home for gifted children in the forgotten reaches of several mining colonies. This is where children with special gifts were taught how to become superheroes. Their parents would often, in hushed voices, talk about black ships while their kids were away. However, on one fateful day, a falling star was found and the children began to wish to have new friends. The falling star grew brighter in intensity and got closer, flying over the children's heads. By the time the children got home, their parents were missing, and everything was left abandoned. Undeterred, the children went and tried to find their parents, once again wishing with all their might to find them. This wish, while unanswered, was heeded as several new friends emerged. They were huge creatures of orange skin and purple armor who dwarfed the already small children. Each one of them went up to a child and knelt. These new friends were here to help them search for their parents. After searching the planet, they saw a ship floating in the night sky, blocking the moonlight and stars. The children then began wishing to reach the ship to see if they knew where their parents went. Their new large friends were undeterred, and suddenly were leaping or even flying to the ship. The children couldn't find their parents, but saw a map with a red blinking light. Their new friends felt their wishes, and the ship began to lurch in the direction of this new planet. Who knows? Sammy the Swarm Lord thought. Maybe your parents are on this planet too.
I want to know more backstory because that's super fucked up. These are tyrannid children.
Leave it.
And I know he's teased it out. I think in the last episode that he was on with just me for the holiday special, he teased out that his psychic kids have some connection to all of his tyrannids. So yeah, it's pretty.
I felt like it was like little
it's
gene
pretty
stealers.
Right.
Leave it to Nick to make like children evil.
Yeah.
You know.
Right?
That's what
So,
I like it though. I like
my
the
buddy
story.
that plays.
I like the twist on it.
My buddy
too.
that plays Tyranids, he calls his son a gene stealer.
Yeah.
He's my little gene stealer. Like, yeah, I
That's
mean, you're
hilarious.
not wrong.
And he's the patriarch.
That's hilarious.
I've started to taking to like changing it up. So sometimes they're Levi's thieves,
Levi
sometimes they're
thieves.
TJ
Wrangler thieves.
TJ Maxx Raiders. My TJ Maxx Raiders. All right. So next up, we've got two
Double feature.
Magnuses in a row.
We got
So
head-to-head Magnuses.
That's right. So the first Magnus we're going to talk about was painted by Mullins. So this is holy fuck, man! These wings.
Not just the wings, the leg plates are what got me.
Oh yeah, the leg plates. Just like last time, Mullins very much has a very reminiscent of heavy metal style, where
Very much
everything
so.
is, yeah. I'm enjoying seeing his progress forward and he's starting to put in some of those deeper shades and those creases and everything, which is really cool. Really like the muscles and the details that he picked out on Magnus. I think it's very, very well done model.
That ain't
Very hard to
Magnus.
find anything that I'm not happy with on this model.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't Magnus. That's Hellboy without a fist.
So,
I love
yeah,
it.
go, Kev.
As I was scrolling through, I was like, Magnus, wait, other Magnus. Hold up. So then I had to, obviously compare the two Magnuses. And so I started going in. And every time I look back at this one, I was like, man, these colors are so, like, vibrant.
Oh yeah.
It's just so satisfying.
It's
Right.
satisfying to look at in every aspect. And, oh, man. I love these leg plates. And even the white that was chosen for, like, the tapestryness, the tabard, whatever you want to call it. It works for me, like, without being dirty. Normally, you get people dark wash things, but as a demon, having basically control over his own appearance, he would choose the perfection, of pure white. That would be the choice he would make. He wouldn't make himself look dirty. So I actually really like that you chose to go pure, and clean with the armor. It's very gleaming and shiny, very, only magic could create armor so clean kind of thing.
I agree.
I like it.
I like that.
So, as far as my thoughts, you could tell that Mullins just went in on these wings. You can tell he tried. He did his damnedest to blend those two, that dark purple and that magenta. He did the line work to really bring out
To
each
highlight
feather.
each
Yeah.
feather, like,
I agree with the cock cloth or the loin cloth, whatever you call it. He did a light blue wash. I want to say it's apothecary white. It looks really good. Usually it's really hard to get like cloth white to pop, and he got it to pop. The red he chose, I dig it. It's
Magnus flesh.
Yeah. So is that a helmet he's wearing, or did he paint the face gold? I don't have a Magnus model, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
He painted He painted the face gold.
And the basing with the Space Wolf Dread and the Marine on there, the Primaris Marine. Dope.
Yeah, that's really
I love
cool.
it. He even did.
I was wondering what that was. That's a dread? Is that a dread fist?
It's a dread fist, and he's got a leg. He's got some blood in there, some little effects.
Yeah, that's badass.
I dig it. The amount of detail you went in on this. He even painted the eye, the blue eye on the hand, with the red tattoo that Magnus has on his arm. Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
good stuff, Mullins.
The lining.
I'm speechless. I mean, honestly, like looking at it, I was like, like it's everything that I would want to. I don't even like this model that much. Like, I'm not a big fan of Magnus, but it's just.
Dude, and that hair. The hair looks dope.
The hair looks real. Like there's one angle he has it in where, like, I swear to God, it looks real.
Yeah, that top
like,
angle.
Yeah, like the top side where it's like he's this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought he actually put hair on it. You know what I mean?
So I just blew it up really big just to take a look at the base and some other small detail work. He even got the power armor interface ports on his calf painted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this model is
like wow. That is the tiniest details that were made sure to get covered, and that is
it's epic. It's perfect. It literally,
as my coworker says, Italian hands.
Italian hands.
No, it's so good, dude. Like I can't even express just the hair. Like the hair.
Tom's like the hair.
The hair, dude. I thought he actually put
good.
like a freaking troll doll head on it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the trolls with the hair.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought he grabbed one of those and like coated it with spray paint to like like glue to make it stick.
So I think since I got to be that guy,
Yeah.
my only complaint, the only thing I can pick out is there's so much detail in Magnus, and there's not a lot of detail in the Dead Space Marine and the chunk of Dreadnought arm.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
I know it's a weird thing to point out, but that's it.
No, I agree, because I too noticed that. I write that off as it's the base. While yes, there could be more detail there, you don't necessarily want to detract from the epicness of the rest of it.
I think it was actually good color. Space Wolves. I don't know if he did Space Wolves on purpose for color matching, but the Space Wolves color complements the model really well.
Well, and in lore, the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns have a lot of back and forth. But so to the point that you're making, Kevin, as an answer, I think the thing that you risk when you don't put as much attention into the base as you do into the model, and again, bases is another place where I'm neurotic, so take this how or where you want or don't want, but you risk putting so little detail into the base that it doesn't match the model.
That's also fair.
It attracts the eye, and you're like, oh.
Yes. You're like, hey, why is that different?
Yeah.
Yeah. The different
I could see
contrast. Yeah, definitely.
At the same time, this is a big model, and he painted it pretty quickly. So, the criticism stuff that we're going to give you guys is always going to be on it's criticism. what are we seeing? What would we pick out? How would we potentially do it differently? It's not meant to tear anybody down.
No, and that's the thing too, is it's not criticism based on anything but our own. So it's really a person by person, as we've said in the beginning. Whenever we do this type of painting contest, it's not so much painting. Like, you could literally be a Picasso, but I don't really like Picasso. You know what I'm saying? Like
art is subjective.
Yeah, exactly. It's a subjective, to each one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys get to shit on us when we submit our model, so it's okay.
Oh God, I'm not ready.
Oh God,
I'm not ready.
My painting sucks.
Who's reading the lore on this one?
I'll do it.
Cool.
Right now.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Have you all forgotten they are still out there? While you fight, bicker, and thieve away whatever tomes and trinkets you can get your hands on, the dogs of Fenris remain. They thrive, while Prospero remains ash and spatial wind. Do you not feel shame? We have disgraced our Primarch. Our legion lay in shambles, and our word lay to dust in memory. But through all of our perils, you have gained immense powers, haven't we? Our Primarch is proof of that power gained. Him, chosen by Tzeentch, and carrying such arcane might, that to meet his gaze drives the fool to madness. Mutation and insanity follow in his wake. The whole world's to this day remain engulfed in warp fire by the Crimson King. The power resides in our legions. We will use that power gained to slaughter the mutts, and we will leave Fenris as nothing but a ball of ice with bones 100 yards underfoot. We will have our revenge. We are the Thousand Suns. We are the torch, and the one who lights the wolves' funeral pyre is Magnus the Red.
What is it? Who's it? Abraham Set, exalted sorcerer of the cult of insanity.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought that was just him writing that. I thought that was just him signing it.
Nah, that's awesome. Tom, if you keep reading stuff like that, none of the rest of us are gonna read.
I couldn't help it, man. That one was so good to read like that. I was like, it has to.
Oh yeah, no, the way that lead in, have you all forgotten?
I know, right?
Awesome.
It begs for that.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It does.
I read it right beforehand, and I was like, oh, I got it. Like the whole Crimson King, I was like, has to.
That was good.
Yep.
So the next up is Stowers with another Magnus model.
In the other corner, also Magnus.
So again, absolutely in love with the goddamn wings.
Mm-hmm.
The detail again on the chest armor, not the chest armor, but the chest muscles and everything are really awesome. I really like that he played with the warm colors and the cool colors in combination here. So red and yellows are stereotypically warmer colors, and blues and purples are stereotypically cooler colors from a art education perspective. I really like that he played with that stuff. Just an overall awesome model.
Yeah, I agree. So the one thing on this model that I am just blown away by is the red and the contrast that he did on the face and body. The face looks fucking sick.
Yeah,
I love the face. I love the way that it's shadowed, so you can't really see his eyes. His lips kind of are darker, so it really, really kind of like shows like a solemn, like dark face. I love it.
Very, flat.
Yeah,
hard.
I dig the face.
No emotion. Yeah.
I like the kind of grimness of his loincloth. I dig it, and the amount of detail.
Is the other approach of being
exactly.
dirty. Yeah,
exactly. Less armor, which I actually kind of like the less armor. I dig it. The wings, the way he dry brushed them, where it's like a lighter blue on top of the purple, makes it look like warpy. It looks sick. I like it.
I actually really dig the way that blue is like kind of on the little eyes. They almost look like eyes on the front of the wings.
Yeah,
that's that warpiness. Yeah.
Honestly, the spear for me is
the fire on that little pearly bit.
No, it's so good.
So good.
So good. That spear, like with that, because that's like, I don't like that on the model. I don't like that it has this like white ball on the end of it, or fireball or whatever it is. But this actually makes it look right. You know, like just the paint on this one makes it look like, oh yeah, no, that's supposed to be there. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like
it looks like a pearl.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like, it looks like he did like a pearlescent, like
the pearlescent paint on that sphere is so good.
Yeah, I mean, it literally
is blowing my mind.
It literally looks like,
and the way the fire is just like licking across it.
It looks like the pearl's on fire, and then even the back part, like the other end, is blue, like the blade on the end of it.
God damn, that is good. These two Magnuses are so fucking good. Dude.
Yeah,
it's
in different ways, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah. The other thing is that picture from the back. I love it. I love the front and the back of this model. Damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's crazy about that back shot is everything's so dark, which is a very stark contrast to the front. Where, like, the red is like, I am Magnus.
You get two tasty treats.
I really want to paint this model.
I know, right? I don't even like this. I don't normally like this model, but like after this, I'm like,
Yeah.
This might be fun.
Yeah, right? I was like, it could go with my chaos notes.
Yep. And he rimmed it and he threw. I love me personally, I love that concrete the concrete base. I love that on all models.
Yeah.
I always like that. And he rimmed it brown. I dig it, man.
This is some display case. I mean, all of these are display case worthy, but definitely with this base on there too, this is display case worthy.
So the only thing I got, and the only thing I got is there's this one purple. There's a couple of purple streaks in the hair, and they don't quite look finished. If you look at the close up, it looks like he was going for matching the wings and didn't get the blue dry brush on it. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe the idea was that these like kind of silver purple locks were in the hair, but there isn't enough of them to be.
He just got a racing stripe, man. It's just a racing
stripe.
I
really only see like the one that goes all the way, and then there's one on like the side that I kind of can see. But you're right, they don't have the blue also. But that's also, was he trying for?
I think he did that.
It's hard to tell.
I think he did that as an eye catcher, because oftentimes he'll just bypass the black hair. So I think he did that to catch your eye, is the way that I would look at it. Because he wouldn't have said anything about the hair if it wasn't for that. You know what I mean?
I really wasn't paying attention to the hair at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Anyway.
The one thing that caught my eye was the forearm. I wanted to see, because it's almost like, for me, the face and the chest are like kind of the focal point, but like the arm coming out, I wanted something more on that forearm. It looks like he did a blue wash.
I really like that he did that tattoo blue. That's just a it's very difficult to mix cool and warm colors well and make it look natural. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It doesn't pop from a 3 to 5 foot, off the table sense. Right. But in what
as
Ryan's
you get closer,
about, it's a technical feat that he achieved there to blend those colors like he did.
I'd say the only thing I don't like is the fact that the feet aren't planted.
The feet aren't planted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
mostly from the models.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. But I mean, you could have like thrown some, if you did the base, you
some rubble.
Yeah.
You could have put a brick or something.
Oh yeah, okay. I see the daylight. I see the daylight you're talking about.
Yeah, well, like the left foot, the toes aren't touching, and then the right foot, they're not touching. You know what I mean? Or the palm of the foot isn't. I mean, and I'm just trying to find something. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah,
it's my only thing.
I dig it.
Kev, you want to read the lore on this one?
Yes, sir.
Do it good, Kevin.
All right.
Do it good, Kevin.
Do it good, Kevin. Don't fuck it up, Kevin.
If this voice acting doesn't beat Tom's, you're out. No.
Fired.
You're fired.
You fired?
You're fired. Is that how he said
you're
it?
Fired.
I can't remember. I used to be really good at imitating him, and then he was.
I was gonna say, it sounds really
good. When he did Adderall and shit himself in a live television show, I was good at copying him.
What?
Oh no, that happened. Anyway.
All right. Fenris. 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 The name echoed through Magnus's head. Revenge had once driven Magnus. No longer. Revenge faded from his mind when he read the pages of the lost tome of Tisnich. All that was left was pride, ambition, and pure hatred. Pride, hatred, and ambition now drove every action. It was not enough that Fenris be fragmented. Only one thing would satisfy Magnus's thirst. Every space wolf brought to their knees before being broken and twisted in unimaginable ways that only chaos-tinged mind would begin to comprehend. Partly in service of remaking them for his own nefarious plot, partly because the screams of space wolves were sweeter to Magnus than any other. Magnus slyly smiled at the thought of bending the space wolves to his will. Magnus knew holding the spear of Lehman Russ would be only sweeter reward. Magnus was not of being little ambition either. Magnus's ambition stretched much further than just Fenris, encompassing Terra and even the realm of Snitch. His hatred for the God Emperor burned like that only neglected son could. Magnus has often laid plans for what was after the fall of Fenris, the return of Terra's prodigal son, and after besting the Emperor, he knew only remaining being that could rival him would have also been dealt with. Snitch, but killing a god would have to come later. First Fenris and his long-awaited revenge.
So y'all are trying to fight it. Or start a fight with Noir, aren't you?
Right.
The subtext of this painting contest was start a fight with Noir.
Start a fart.
Start a fart with Noir.
I'm going to be an idiot here. Is there a thing about Magnus and Fenris that I don't know about?
So when there are
You're asking for me.
There are two times in heresy level lore that the
Thousand Suns.
No. The
Space
wolves, the space wolves, the wolves of Fenris were unleashed by the Emperor to deal with things, and one of those times was against the Thousand Suns. Basically, when Lehman Russ is let off his leash to do the Emperor's bidding, he does
do the deed.
He does it far over what he can. So Magnus.
Well, there was also
what
other
Magnus
shit
knew. Yeah, to sum it up really quickly, Magnus knew that Horus was betraying the Emperor, and Magnus was on Prospero. And Magnus, even though he had been told in the Council of Nicaea, don't use warp powers anymore, Magnus was trying to warn the Emperor as quickly as possible that some shit had gone down. So Magnus basically forced his way through the warp into the throne room, which broke part of the Golden Throne, which was a webway portal into the palace, into the Imperial Palace.
permanently letting demons in.
Yeah, to warn the Emperor. The side effect of that was that it broke something that allowed demons to start streaming in. And because enough other shit was happening, it wasn't fixable in a timeline where it happened. So the doors basically had to be closed, and somebody had to sit on the throne to make sure that they stayed closed. So Malkador and the Emperor started switching out on that task before the Siege of Terra started. In response to that, the Emperor dispatched Lehman Russ to go get Magnus and bring him back to Terra so the Emperor could punish him. Lehman Russ, being Lehman Russ, went, "Oh, I get to burn their entire world and slaughter the entire legion?"
Well, also, Horus intercepted the orders and changed it from capture Magnus to kill Magnus.
Right,
and
but
his
Lehman,
legion.
Lehman Russ has a tendency to
Not question something that says, go kill those guys.
Right.
He's like, right, let's do
Okay.
it.
Okay,
He
cool.
kind of wanted to anyway, and then he got permission, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Enough history. Yeah.
Wilsonius.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start this off right. This is by far my favorite pose of a
love the
fucking
pose.
Warhammer model ever. he looks like he's whistling and skipping through the fucking
He's
pull-ups.
frolicking.
And I love it.
Dude, he looks like he's about to like catch his best friend's like bolter. He's just like, no.
I imagined it as like the enemy threw a grenade in, and he's trying to catch it so that he can throw it back.
All I can see looking at this, all I can hear looking at this model is the tiptoe through the daisies song.
See, he's playing catch with his Papa Gilliman.
With his Papa Gilliman.
Papa G.
So I really like the ultramarine color scheme.
Yep.
I really like that. Very, very well done. I very, very much like the face of the shield. The shield is incredibly well done.
Oh, yeah.
These were 3D prints that he purchased or that he did himself. I think he
these
bought
are
them.
purchased.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, and I believe Wilsonius is very new to the hobby too. This is like 6 months in ish. And very impressive. This far surpasses my like year 2 and 3 paint jobs. So, constructive criticism before I turn it over. Don't be afraid to go back in and clean up your line work in places, and just thin down your paints a little bit. I'm not sure if it's a 3D printing thing or if it was potentially a touching the model while it was drying, but it looks like there's a thumbprint on one of the vents on the backpack. Right.
I see it too.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, overall, again, like amazing paint job, very definitely table battle worthy. I absolutely fucking love the pose. I love that the entire base is covered. And you don't see that much anymore. People don't really cover the rim and static grass anymore. That is definitely a second and third edition thing right there, which is really cool.
So, are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, so to piggyback on that, because I want to jump in on this one. This is my favorite model. This is by far it's like screams nostalgia to me. You said like second and third edition. I look at this model and like I feel like that's when it was done. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean that in like the most like caring way. Like this is a model that like I could see me being given from like an older brother, or you know what I mean? Like you get what I'm saying? Like this art style is
like
so
a veteran
old school.
Model.
Yeah, like this art style is so old school, and like in the best way. Like I love it. I think it's fantastic. Like the shield is dope. Like the shield is rad, and I like the custom aspect of it. But to me, when I first saw this, I was just like, oh man, what? Who is this? Like, is this someone who painted like 20 years ago?
Yeah, I had to like check again? To like see. When I pulled up the picture, I was like, wait, who posted this?
Yeah, I love it. I think I absolutely love it. Like, there's like some cleanup bits here, like the shield. There's like some gold on the blue that glues to the fist, but whatever. Like all of that is a part of. I don't know. It just I can't explain. It's like looking at like a oh God, what is it? It's like
looking at one of your own models.
Almost. It's like looking at an old car. You know what I mean? That's like been like worked on. You know, not refurbished, but it's been there and it's existed and it's been played with, and you know, someone, I don't know, to me, the person who uses this model plays.
Yeah.
Like plays hard, isn't like if dropped it on the floor, isn't like, oh my God, like they're just like, oh man, oh well. You know what I mean? That's like me. Yeah, right. Like, and that's why I sympathize with it. That's why I like it so much. Is I'm just like, dude, this is about where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate this.
So I have a few points on this model. So I'm going to start with the base. I have not seen anyone do a base like this where they cover the rim of the base with basing material, and I really fucking like it. It looks like he's standing on a mound of grass, and it's sick.
That's how that's how I used to do my drones.
Yeah, I really like it. But I mean, this is like a regular, 32 mil. This isn't like the clear bases where it's actually like round.
Right.
But Yeah, no, I dig it. Like, it looks so good. The base with the skulls. The skulls have like white, like cream coming out of them. It looks sick. I like it. The other thing, doing trim is one of the most like
That's a pain in the ass.
advanced things that you can try and do. And the fact that you tried to do it and you did like on the chest, I think that's where you shine. Like, because I can see where you started on the feet, and it's a little bit different than it is on the chest, and it's a little bit different than it is on the arm. So I can see that you were progressively. I don't know if you did the chest last, but that is my favorite. Like my favorite way of doing line work, because it looks almost like a chipped paint. So like if you look at the legs, it's more of a dry brush, and as you work up like on the groin and the hip, it's still a dry brush, but it's getting a little sharper. And then you go to the chest, and that's like heavy metal type chipping, where it's like on the stomach portion. That is like perfection. I
You're
love
talking
that.
about the little like white edge highlight, kind of like right on his
Yeah.
abs. Yeah, where it looks like the top plate scratched the paint off a little bit.
Exactly.
Well,
It
he's
looks
got that
so
on the,
good
he's
right
got
there.
that on the chainsword too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so-
chainsword has a bunch of it. The weathering on the chainsword is actually what I was going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But keep going, Mark.
Yeah, and then the shield, dude, you did. Oh God, I wish you would have did some line work on the shield, but the shield looks so good, dude. I wanted the blue to pop more. Like if you did like a dry brush or something on that. Oh God, I would have.
I think
I don't know.
Or a
he could-
wash into the letters.
he
I
could
think
paint
part
that
of that
gold.
is the gold is reflecting too much light back at the camera, and it dimmed it. Because you can tell that the blue there, it does not match the blue on his armor, and that it's, and you can see how the gold is even washing out to white from the reflection. So that's a camera thing.
I love the helmet. The only tip that I kind of have is maybe try to use less glue. I can see a little bit of glue on the backpack and underneath the helmet. Try to use a little bit less. The fact that you bit smashed the model is awesome. I love that you did that, and I think you should continue to do it because it's sick. That's one of my favorite things about the hobby. So when I see other people do it, it makes me happy, and I love it.
So the shield, the backpack, and the helmet, I'm guessing, are kind of like slapped on there extra. And the chainsword's probably different too, yeah.
I think
Not sure.
I think what he
Yeah. Sorry.
I think what he bit smashed was an assault, a Primaris assault marine, where it's like a chainsword heavy bolt pistol marine. I think he cut the bolt pistol off of the arm. It almost looks like he used a blade guard left arm, because that pauldron is a little bit different. Blade guard left arm. He cut the sword off, threw the shield on, and then he used one of the arms from a Primaris marine. I think that is using. I think it's used to point
guy.
Yeah. But the body, the head is a third party, and the shield is third party as well. So let me know if I got that right, Wilsonius.
Did you guys see he managed to get in there with the super fine gold work on the side of the mohawk piece? That's tough right there.
He could paint my gold trim. I'll tell you that.
Tom's always complaining about his
Always
gold work.
complaining about gold trim, man.
Dude,
So
this
you
is,
guys,
you're gonna be an extremely good painter, dude.
oh yeah, we're already seeing the stuff that he's working on for his second
Looking forward to
submission.
Well,
I was not
he's
this good.
like he's like at like where I'm at. Like I feel like we're the same. You know, like
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna beat me in the next painting.
yeah,
contest.
exactly. I'm like he's already getting more than me. Like
Mark's gonna win the next painting contest. It's fine. We already know out of the four.
we
of
already
us,
know.
Mark is gonna
We already
win.
know
It's
the
not
only
a-
competition is between you and Mark. We know.
It's not about. It's not.
I
about
don't think
skill.
it's between me and Mark. I think it's between Mark and Mark.
Mark and Mark.
The
But
only
Mark
tip,
is very much the best painter out of all of us. I'd honestly put
I-
you above me in skill, Tom.
No.
I hate it. He's the best painter. He's
I'm
the best
not.
player. Yeah, we know. we know.
Okay.
I mean, if I'd been doing it since I
calm
was
down.
10, you
Right.
know.
Hey.
Oh,
I'm trying to give Wilsonius a tip here.
all right. So I'm gonna read his lore, and because we
Son
got
of a bitch.
we got to wrap up. We're pushing an hour. Remember how I was
Try-
like we got this in 30 minutes? Nah, we didn't.
Try using watered down wash. That is my tip.
Yeah, good tip. Yeah, and feel
Watered
free.
down wash?
Feel
Yeah.
free
Water
to.
it down more?
Yeah.
Huh.
And feel free to ask us questions, any of us at any point on the Hobby Progress channel. And I promise at some point we will start doing live painting. It's just a thing. There's a lot of stuff going on all times right now. We're all four of us work a lot of overtime, and then this is our overtime.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, unlike other sergeants, Sergeant Wilsinius was given his rank the day he stepped out of his cryo tube without having seen a day of battle. As a new Primaris Marine, the most combat he had seen were the millennia of training Call had put him through. The data that was gathered and reviewed by Call put Wilsinius in the top 1% of the tens of thousands of new Marines that had been created on Gilliman's orders. Through additional acts of heroics, through the Plague Wars, Gilliman felt that it was prudent to assign a new unit of company champions comprised of Primaris units to increase the sense of unity in the Ultramarines with their new brothers. Wilsonius's record on the battlefield surpassed those in his simulations, and he was first chosen to lead this unique Primaris unit. That's the only way to read.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say Gilliman's Island.
Gilliman's Island. That's a new bit for us.
Oh man, yeah.
I was like, why have I never thought of this before?
Right?
Ryan, you need to draw
because no one would
for
get it.
Gilliman's Island.
No one would get it.
All right, so as of the voting, everybody, the community voting, we tabulated everything based on the numbers that we released and all of that. So Chalk is at 27 points, which puts him in second place. Ickbard and Mullins are tied for first place with 39 points. Stowers is in third place with stowers points, and Wilsonius is in fourth place with 23 points. So again, Ick and Mullins in first with 39, Stowers in second with 32, Chalk in third with 27, and Wilsonius in fourth with 23. So I am ready to give you guys my third place vote. If you're ready for it.
Let's do all of our thirds.
Okay. So we'll just give all of our thirds and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Let me consult my notes really quickly. So in the third place for me is going to be Ickbard. So I really, really like this model that Ickbard did. I very, very much like the color scheme. I like the orange and purple. I like pretty much everything about it. But this is a really, really, really hard competition. And it came down to like, who do I give my ranks to? And it very much was like, I went back and forth a lot on this. So this was not an easy decision. The only criticism that I had earlier, the only thing that I would say is those mold lines. I know it's dumb, but it apparently bugs me just a tad. I don't
know. My third. So I'm sorry, guys. The Magnuses were fighting for third for me. They're so good, dude. I've been on the fence about both of them, and I'm gonna have to go with Stowers just because of the way the face and the Magnus's chest and face made me feel things that I haven't felt before. Dude, the face! Oh my God, that face! And like Mullins, not that it had any effect on my voting, but he's a nutty J, so I was like, oh yeah, Mullins. And then we went down to Stowers', and I was just like, God damn that face! Fucking rock hard. So I'm gonna have to go with Stowers for my third.
That's your third place. I gotta start writing this shit down.
Mm-hmm. So I've been torn tremendously. So my third vote goes to one of creativity. I appreciate the art of both of these. I think they're both about this, like, I feel that they're an equal when it came to art, and the winner is only winning because of the creativity. Is the way that I'm going to put that right now. That's what the tiebreaker came down to. So my third, I'm going to vote for Chalk. just the model itself, like being like, oh, you know what, I'm going to make this thing, it's going to do this, and I want it to be this model, I'm going to add these things to it, like I'm going to paint it like this, I'm going to do this base like this, like all of that to me is pretty much what broke this. My tide was Ick. I think Ick was a solid third for me, but it just like, because the tail grime, the knife head, all of those things are creative, but I think this one just took it that extra step, being like a custom model. And also too, I want to promote people using custom models. I like that a lot.
Good
so
call.
that, yeah,
Good call.
so that's kind of like where it's like it won, you know, for me is in third place.
Jeff, feel. Kev, number 3.
Gonna make me make a
Number
decision.
3.
You should have made a decision like a week ago.
You motherfucker.
You
A week ago, I had a plague.
this
that I was dealing with.
motherfucker.
You can't read when you have the plate. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So I think for number 3,
You guys made this really hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I'm struggling.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
very,
honest.
very
Like
upsetting. how
when
difficult
when
it
we
is.
start getting more people in this, it is gonna be
It's gonna be.
brutal.
Oh man, getting rid of like 10, just being like these don't make the top 3. Like that's gonna be rough.
Number 3, Kevin.
To call it number 3, it's Ick. For basically the same reason Ryan has it.
Okay.
And it didn't really stand out to me at first because I was so impressed with the paint job and the basing on this one. But then after Ryan said it and I went back and I'm looking back through them, I just can't get that little panel gap out of my, like, it just grabs me now and I just can't get rid of it. And I mean, but other than that, it's amazing. Everything about that model.
It is a really good model.
Detail, the muck going up the ankles of it is so well done on there. It's so good.
All right, Ryan. Number 2.
Give me a second to update
Tom.
points.
Number 2.
My number 2. I'll do it. My number 2, hands down, is going to be Mullins. Let me double check.
Mullins is like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, Mullins. Hands down.
Yeah.
For me, number 2. I can't. The art,
Dude, he
aspect.
did a good job.
Yeah, the art aspect, like just the artistic ability on this thing leaves me speechless. Like, it's so satisfying. Like, it's such a nice, like that red, like that the body is like it's
the
almost,
reds they chose for the body are so good.
dude.
Both of them,
It just kills me. Like, I want him to paint my knights, like, because I can see how good it is. Like, he combines the metal aspect with, and he can do the flesh aspect, and even though it's
Dude,
like
and
red and it's not normal
I don't know
flesh,
if they did airbrush, but the red that they did, like, it went on so clean. If you guys didn't use an airbrush, I would. Oh man.
You know, to be
Marky's
honest,
mad
that
if
looks
you didn't use an airbrush.
like
Yeah.
the red on the chest for both of your guys' Magnus looks like it was made out of red plastic.
Oh yeah, it does.
And then just given a wash. Like, this looks like an action figure, like, level of like good.
Well,
quality red
I'm
on
specifically talking about Mullins Magnus because it is my second choice, and I do not want to downplay it because there's another Magnus. You know what I mean? Like, yes, of course, the other one is fantastic. All of these paint submitted are fantastic. This one, to me, Mullins painting this one
makes you feel things.
Yeah, it's like second place only because I can't have 2 first place.
Yeah,
Kevin.
we got to make those choices.
Kevin, number 2.
My second, to be redundant, is also Mullins Magnus.
Oh shit!
Good choice.
Oh shit!
The double up right there.
Double
Good choice.
Mullins.
I didn't expect that.
Great
to happen,
minds.
actually.
Great minds.
Yep.
think
Sorry, I
alike.
got showing up for the Nutty Jays. Mullins, what's up?
And it's
Oh, he's a Nutty J, 5th place.
No. He's a warmonger.
He's a warmonger. Is he really?
He's a
Get the
warmonger.
fuck outta here.
No, he's under Hive Auxilia.
But for me, it was similar things. The color choices for certain things, the leg armor, that the addition of having those leg plates is cool in comparison to the other one, and just the coloring on certain items that you've chosen on here is just so primo. But again, like Ryan said, the base does distract a little bit and hold back in certain aspects of it.
I got nothing negative to say about it.
I mean,
All right,
it's
Ryan.
awesome. Everything about this is great.
So good.
So, in a weird twist of fate, since I already put down all of my votes earlier, I also have Mullins down as my number 2 pick.
Mullins!
It was very, very difficult
Almost by a
Fucking
landslide.
to pick.
Dude, he almost died in our last painting contest with
He almost
the
did.
disc. Yeah, he stepped on that disc.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
He almost died.
His life
Blood
flashed
for the
before his
blood god.
eyes. Blood for the blood
Yeah,
god.
This is his comeback.
Blood for Zinch. So yeah, I also gave my second place vote to Mullins. The absolute. I'm going to be flat out honest right now, and I'll be the first to do this with my second place vote. My choice came down to which Magnus I liked better. And Mullins was my second place choice for the Magnus I liked better, because to me, this entire contest at a certain point became one of the Magnuses was going to be my top place. And it was very difficult to figure out which one I wanted to go with. And I went with Mullins as my second place choice.
Dude,
So,
these are gonna be rough.
Marky.
So my number 2, I chose because I have seen many of his paint jobs, and I could see the technique
Change.
tighten up over time.
Yep.
My second is Ickbard. That Swarmlord and the tightness of his paint job that he is. We have the Necrons, we have all of his chaos that he's shown us, all of his armies that he's painted, and he brought out this Swarmlord, and the amount of like blending that he did with that airbrush. The reason he's not my number 1 is because I wanted to see a little bit more detail, but the detail that he did put on it, I enjoyed. Like, to me, it was pleasant to look at, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. I do see the progression in paint from some of his earlier work to this.
No, dude,
It is
honestly,
clean.
the only reason I chose against him was because of the fact of creativity. The painting wise, phenomenal.
All right. We're going on to number 1s.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and give Ryan's because he already said it.
Yeah, so my number 1 pick was Stowers. Absolutely love the Magnus. I love the wings.
Face.
It very much came down to, oddly enough, the tattoo and the wings. And I love the wings on both of these models, but there's something about Stowers that just grabs me a little bit more. Oddly enough, I'm not sure what it is, because the fact that Mullins detailed all those little pieces in bright purple catches me as well. It's so weird, but for whatever reason, the wings and the tattoo just pushed it over the edge for Stowers. I really, really, really like this model. And I think a lot of it comes down to, and I mentioned it in my original critique, and I'll mention it again, he's doing something very technically difficult from an artistic perspective in blending not dry and wet colors, warm and cool colors together, and making it look really, really good. And it looks real, and it looks like a living. I could see that model taking a breath, and to me, that's that extra oomph.
Yeah. For me, the red, that red, the face, captivating. I loved it. Kevin.
Well,
number 1.
You know, I guess I'm a boring motherfucker because I too.
You son of a bitch.
And to be honest, I went into this competition when I first pulled up these pictures to kind of go over them earlier today as I was leaving work. And I was like, oh, double Magnus, that's cool. I'm going to make a point not to pick either one.
I did the exact same. I did the exact same.
You guys are too good. You literally took the one thing I was going to not vote for, and you made me pick them for 1 and 2. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Tom, I'm going to leave you best for last. My number 1, for many reasons, is Wilsonius. Wilsonius is my number 1 for bit smashing, for trying new techniques, for showing me that mound of grass that I love. And, dude, you keep doing what you're doing, man, because I love it.
I agree 100%.
Tom.
Also, Wilsonius. That's my number one. 100%. Right there with you, Mark. Right there with you. 100%.
Wait, so me and you share our number ones, and Ryan and Kevin share their number
which
ones.
is really strange.
Oh.
Really strange. That's not normally how these things go. Normally, Kevin and I are on the same page.
Yeah, normally it's me and Tom going off on a tangent together.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Wilsonius, like, there's something about that model, that the way that they painted it, that it's just like, yeah, I want to own that. That, like, I physically want to own that model. Like, and I hate Space Marines.
Yeah.
I hate them, but I want to own that model.
And
like,
Ultramarines.
Yeah, especially.
Oh yeah. And it's also exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's just. I
think,
think,
exactly. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Sonny's is like, what's wrong with Ultramarines?
For me, cool. like you commented on choosing it because of like the putting into practice like new techniques and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's the care to do so. Yeah, like there are techniques and it's obvious that they're putting in all this effort, but the care to do that to me is what is why it's my number
100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, we've tabulated. I've tabulated that we've input all the numbers into the computer and we've tabulated everything up.
Did you slap the servitor the proper number of times before asking it what the results were?
I did not. So, hold on. Okay, now I have.
Percussive maintenance rights.
So
we don't want a Steve Harvey, all right? We don't want Miss, Chili to win. It's actually Miss Amsterdam.
Okay, got you. I understood.
Okay.
All right. So in third place with 51 points is Ickbard.
Nice.
Right on, Ick.
Well,
dude, I want to say Ick placed in the last one as well.
Yeah. Ickbard, we've seen a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of growth from all of you guys as painters.
Yes.
But definitely want to call out the fact that we've seen some cool growth from Ickbard. Definitely looking forward to the next submissions from everybody. Keep making this as hard on us as possible, guys. It's awesome.
It's
so
fun.
In second place with 53 points is Stowers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting considering Stowers got 2 top level votes. I'm just putting that out. I'm just putting that out there. That's how our votes change shit up, guys.
The plot thickens.
It does. It does. In first place with 57 points is Mullins. Mullins, congratulations for winning the second Red Squig trophy.
I'm so happy.
So that's interesting. We 3 of us voted for him. Yeah, for second place. So yeah, guys.
I did not vote for Mullins.
You did not. 3 of the others of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how you said 3
Mullins.
and not 4? Yeah, you're that.
I still love you, Mullins.
So in fourth place was Wilsonius with 41 points.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
And as much as I absolutely love the model and I absolutely love the paint job, Chalk, you won last time, man. You'll probably win another one coming up.
He'll definitely win again.
But yeah, very, very.
All right, Chalk.
Still one of my.
You're
Very,
gonna PM
impressive.
Mullins for his address, and you're gonna send that red squig.
So we're not Heisman trophying it, not yet. Anyway, maybe when we get to the point where we print a ridiculously big one, maybe we can Heisman trophy it. That'd be pretty funny. But
so we're gonna 3D print. We're going to 3D print a 5-foot tall one, and we're going to paint it gold, and then we're going to write everyone's name on it that one.
No, guys, come on.
And that's going to stay in the studio.
We all know Mullins'
that'd be
prize. Cool. Mullins' prize is that he gets to paint my knights. That's
exactly.
that's the real prize.
So we're sending you
First
all
place.
of his knights. No,
the real prize right there.
The trophy is in the mail to Marky right now, so Marky will be painting up the red squig again. And
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We very much love all the painting contest stuff. We are super looking forward to our next one, the Festival of the Heart, the Festival of the Bloody Heart. It is underway. Just as a reminder, we'll all be competing. And, guys, we only have 5 days as of recording this to get our models posted. So we should prime and post those so everybody can see them.
Wait, what?
What?
I didn't even realize we were in it until like 3 days ago.
Nah, I told you when we recorded the podcast. That was at least 5 days ago. I had to count. I'm like, is he right? Was that only 3 days ago?
Was it? I don't even remember.
Prime?
Yeah,
We
just,
just gotta prime them.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
don't
Well,
have to
all you got to
prime
do
'em.
is prime them. All you got to do by January 31st is prime them, and you don't even have to prime them. You can just take a picture of them unprimed.
Yeah.
We just have to show proof of what we're painting.
Picture on Amazon Prime, got it.
Yeah, picture from Amazon Prime.
Haven't
is
even
all
got
you
the
need.
model yet. Just order it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to the next contest, and yeah,
Congrats, Mullins. Good job,
Congrats.
everybody.
Congrats, everybody.
Keep 'em coming.
That was
Hell
a
yeah.
good one. That was
Good job.
another very hard judging session.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Makes it so difficult.
You